Hello, welcome back. Welcome back. Come on in, come and join us. Thank you for joining us for another live stream. My name is Jay, and I am one of the trainers, the master trainers here, working with the Microsoft UK and I field team. And I am joined by
Hannah.
Introduce yourself. Thank you very much. We're here to talk to you about a little topic known as back to school. Now, I appreciate that you have probably just started your summer holidays, but there are also some of you that are going to be looking forward to that back to school experience starting already. So we're going to be helping guide you through a few of the products and services that Microsoft have to offer that can help your back to school experience.
And we are coming in live, right? Absolutely live. Which does mean you can ask us questions and we will respond, or at least we'll try to, right?
Absolutely will.
We'll try to. What you'll be seeing down the bottom of your screen just here is a QR code. That QR code will take you to a forms where you can ask us questions, and we have Sam here in the studio who will be relaying those questions to us again, live.
Correct. Absolutely. So, we're going to be looking at a few specific features here on how Windows, specifically Windows, can help with that back to school experience for students, for example, who want to excel in their courses, for teachers who want to give their students the best possible experience, and for parents who want to give their children every advantage possible. So we're going to be talking through a few of the key features around Windows that makes the everyday easier, saves time for you when you're looking at that coming back to school. The first feature that we're going to be taking a look at has been something that has been around for a little while now, and of course, like all things Windows, it has been making improvements as we go along. Now we're going to be looking at a feature you may know called Snap Layouts.
What we did for this release was entirely based on feedback.
There's insider feedback, social media feedback. We are constantly monitoring.
Just focus on how to take it further.
We released the Snap Flyout in Windows 11 and people really loved it. One of the things we got feedback about was it's not always there when I need it. I have to go out and seek it.
Like, this is great, we love it, but it's not touch friendly. How can we make this
more accessible,
easier to discover,
more effortless? And so we went to the drawing board.
We just want it to be there when you need it. Like, when are you resizing a window?
We thought about how to do this better, how to bring it to more people.
So as you drag a window, you're going to see a little hint at the top of the screen.
Slides in when you need it, and then you can drop it on, and if you don't need it, it goes away. It's something that we knew people wanted, and that really meant a lot to us.
A good touch experience is responsive. It needs to respond to all the different interactions that you do, all the swipes and drags.
What we're trying to get across is that physicality.
One of the major things we added was the ability for the UI to track your finger.
You can actually slide it out or slide it in.
What you can do now is swiping from the bottom of the screen, you can bring up the start menu, and between the pages, you can also use touch to navigate.
My favorite is bringing up quick settings. It's made my movie viewing experience a lot better.
We also have multi-finger gestures, so with 3 fingers you can switch between windows.
You just want to peek, try to switch, and then you move back.
The windows react to what you're doing. That really plays into the principles that we were trying to push for from a design perspective.
You know, we called it design to be held. This is not the only feature why you would want to hold it, but this is one of them.
The amount of care that everyone on the team had in taking all of those interactions and really perfecting them was just so special.
Every day I come in, I'm working with people who are trying to do the same thing I'm doing. Like, every single meeting I have, it's the same conversation over again. How can we do something great?
And that is Snap Layouts.
It is indeed. So a little bit about Snap Layouts, a little bit about touch gestures there as well. But we're going to specifically, a bonus, we're going to specifically focus on Snap Layouts. Now, I don't know about you, Jay, but I like to do about 10,000 things at once.
I have ADHD and I can't focus on one thing to save my life.
Me either. I cannot work in silence. I like to have either a movie playing or music playing. I've usually got something that I'm pulling information from and putting into something else, whether it's a PowerPoint presentation or a document. So I've got multiple things open. What Snap Layouts can do is actually, if I'm only working from one screen, I can still have multiple windows open at once. So let me actually show you how it works.
Let's have a look.
Let's have a little bit of a look. So here's my screen, right? And you should all be able to see this wherever you are watching this from as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get the Microsoft website up here. So there's one window open. Now, probably the easiest way to see Snap Layouts is if I just go up to the top here and hover, I can see all these lovely different layouts up here. So if I just click on this one, I can then choose what I'd like to have on my other one. So I'm going to have a Word document, right?
Perfect.
Nice. Now, there are other ways that I can do it.
How else can you open up Snap Layouts?
I can use touch controls if I want to. So if I just open this up here, I can actually click and drag. I'm going to need to click and drag for this one, but I could touch if I wanted to. And again, at the top of my screen, choose my layout. So I'm going to go for this one. Let's switch it up a little bit. Put it over to the other side. There's one last way.
Is it going to be a hotkey?
It's going to be a hotkey.
Yes, I love hotkeys.
You do love hotkeys. It's Windows and Z, right? Windows and Z is going to bring up these different layouts. I can then choose via numbers which one I want to use. I'm going to go for, let's go for a 5. Why not? Go for 5. I'm going to put this in window 1, and then again I can just select what I want in Windows 2 and 3 there. I can have up to 4 open at one time. And again, I can now, the world's my oyster. I'm going to be so productive. All right.
You are, absolutely. I believe in you.
I don't.
So, we're talking about shortcut keys here.
Yeah.
Windows and Z.
Yeah.
Snap Layouts is my favorite shortcut key. I want to know what your favorite shortcut keys are out there. What's your favorite shortcut key, Hannah Boffin?
Probably the one that I've got to use the most is Windows and L. Easily locks my screen, stops anyone, and I'm looking at you, Jay, messaging people, you know, on my laptop when I'm not there, or looking at any, you know, Christmas shopping that I've been doing on my laptop, whatever it might be. So yeah, it's quick and easy and simple, and it does the job.
Love that. And specifically when we're looking at Snap Layouts, if, for example, I have my Snap Layouts open, but then an email comes through and I need to open up my emails and I navigate away from this, what then happens?
Dead easy, right? And again, I'll show you. So we'll bring back my screen. If I open up, say for example, File Explorer here, I've not showing now my window. But if I hover back over to my internet, you can see here we've got the group. Just click that back and it brings that group straight back, so I can go away, come back as long as I keep those apps open. Excellent.
So I can see how this would be really beneficial for a student, for example, having a YouTube video open, having their references open, and then also having the document that they're working on open.
Yep.
How would you say that this would be beneficial for a teacher, for example?
For a teacher, I mean, all I can think of when I think of teaching is that marking that you've got to be doing. There's going to be a lot of criteria there that they're probably not going to remember off by heart. So they can have their criteria open up on the left-hand side, then have the essay or the exam open up on the right-hand side. Just mark away, not having to flick between pages. They could even have a third one open. There's a YouTube video, right, with some lo-fi beats playing in the background to keep them focused.
Okay. So Snap Layouts, really good for having multiple apps open at the same time. What if, for example, I actually wanted to navigate away and go to like a completely different desktop? What could I do then?
It's kind of in the name, Joe.
Is it?
Multiple desktops.
Excellent.
So multiple desktops, dead easy to get to, is just at the bottom of the screen. So I'm actually going to close down my groups for the moment. So let me just minimize these. And again, I can do that just from closing these groups. Just close them straight down. So I'm going to actually go to this button just down here, which is my task viewer, and I can see my multiple desktops. So I've set 2 up at the minute.
Okay.
Work and gaming. They're pretty much my 2 profiles. I have serious work boffin, gaming boffin.
Very good.
Right. So, and only last named as well. And so I'm going to flick over to my gaming profile, and I've got open here my Xbox session. This Xbox app will stay open even when I flip back over. And again, I could set up a different taskbar. I could set up different backgrounds. I can name it, and I can add more in there as well.
Excellent. So are we limited on how many desktops we can open at any one point?
It's laptop dependent.
Very
So we
good.
kind of say as many as your laptop will do.
Very good. Excellent. And if I wanted to quickly get to that, and I didn't have that icon there and on my taskbar, is there a keyboard shortcut for that as well? I do love my keyboard shortcuts.
You do love a keyboard shortcut. So Windows and Tab will bring that up nice and quickly.
Excellent. How about, so obviously I can have different apps open, and those apps stay open regardless if I switch away from there, right? What about if I wanted what if I wanted to change like the theme, like the background, things like that? Is that something that I'm able to do on the multiple desktops, or will that change across everything?
Nope, shouldn't do. So literally, if you go onto a desktop, change it, you can actually do it straight from the task viewer as well. So all you do is left click on that, right click on that desktop that you want to do and click change background.
Excellent. And how about saving things like bookmarks? When I go onto my Edge browser, are my bookmarks going to be saved across those desktops?
Yep.
So I'm still able to access the same bookmark.
Same actual user profile you're using,
see.
so all your bookmarks, favorites, all it's doing is it's changing your background, it's changing the apps that you have open. Just be wary of, if I've got, for example, Word open on my work profile, if I try and open up Word on my gaming profile, it's going to shift me back to my work profile because it's already open there.
I see. Okay, so I can see that maybe for a teacher this would be really useful. They could have their school work open on one desktop, and then they could have their personal life open on another desktop. How about for a parent? How would you navigate around multiple desktops when we're looking at from a parent's point of view?
I mean, so you can look at it for a different way. There's multiple people in a household. Maybe you don't want to set up multiple user profiles. Each person can have their own desktop. Or actually, if your device is just going to be used by, say, your child, you might want to keep separate homework and school life and gaming so that they're not distracted by anything in the taskbar, you know, any icons that might tempt them to come away from their homework. That might be a good thing to do as well.
Excellent. Okay, perfect. So we've had a look at multiple desktops.
Yep.
We also had a look at snap layouts. I think it's about time that we touch on something that is obviously a huge craze right now, a really big focus for Microsoft as well. Let's have a look at Copilot.
I do better when you do better. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You do better when I do better. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Better as one, yeah, better together. Ooh, nah, nah, nah. 'Cause I do better when you do better. Ooh, yeah. Rising up, we come together, yeah, taking center stage. It's her time, yeah, time for her to shine. She be on her way. Rising up, we come together, yeah, taking center stage. It's her time, yeah, time for her to shine. She be on her way. Keep it moving, yeah, watch me dance. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Shout out loud, yeah, champion sound. It's a renegade anthem, shout out proud. Ooh, yeah. Rising up, we come together, yeah, taking center stage. It's her time, yeah, time for her to shine. She be on her way. Rising up, we come together, yeah, taking center stage. It's her time, yeah, time for her to shine. She be on her way. Watch the gal just go, 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 go. Stand up, let's go, 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 go. Take over like go, 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 go. Rise up, let's go, 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 go. Rising up, we come together, yeah, taking center stage. It's her time, yeah, time for her to shine. She be on her way. Take over like go, 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 go. Rise up, let's go.
Copilot. I mean, this is super exciting, right? And it's really cool that this is such a broad feature set, right? There's so many different things that you can do with Copilot. So, talk to me about Copilot, Hannah.
I can indeed. I love talking about Copilot. I spent a while talking about Copilot, and I
do.
still Love it. Copilot is really there to assist with anything. And I'm going to demonstrate this live, right? So, Jay,
Yes.
give me a scenario, a back to school scenario that Copilot, you think Copilot could help with.
How about if I'm a teacher and I'm going into my new school year and I want to create a series of lesson plans for my students?
Okay, cool. We've got Copilot open up here. What I'm going to do is I am going to very quickly type out a prompt to create a chemistry
That was
lesson
very
plan.
quick.
It's rapid, right? For 20 high school students, age 15. The lesson is specifically going to be on the periodic table for this one, and it's going to last about 60 minutes.
Excellent.
A lot of information I'm giving Copilot. What it's then going to do is it's going to go fact finding, right, using that amazing AI brain. See how quick that was as
It
well.
was very fast.
Absolutely rapid. The beauty of Copilot plus PCs, eh? So we are seeing here come up a lesson plan live. Now, if I was a teacher, this would have probably taken me at least an hour to create myself. You've got to conceptualize it. You've got to actually time everything out. You've got to think of an activity. You've got to even make it fun if you want to.
You could.
If you want to. This has done it in seconds.
Excellent.
I can still make some tweaks to it if I want.
That's the beauty of Copilot, right? Is that you're not just stuck to this one response. You can iterate on it, and I think that's kind of the benefit of Copilot, is how conversational you can be with it. You can ask it questions to elaborate on certain points.
Yeah.
You can also ask it to change certain aspects and kind of redo the program that way, so you're kind of making little tweaks rather than having to redo the whole thing.
You can indeed. So just to show this in action, I might want to transform this information into a table so it's easier to read. So can you change, put this information into a table? Lesson plan into a table. I've not got that rapid typing this time. And I'm just lost the touch a little bit. But as you can see, again, real quick coming up. It's put that information straight away into a table. I can even pop that into Excel and edit it there if I wish to.
Excellent. Okay, so when you're kind of building these prompts, and for anyone that is kind of new to using Copilot, what is the best way to sort of build your prompt so that you get the best response from it?
Ooh, so I'm even going to give this a little bit of a back to school theme. Okay, so for those of you that maybe have taken them quite recently, GCSE. Okay. GCSEs. And that stands for goal, context, source, and expectation. So for each prompt, at the basis, you want a goal. What is Copilot going to give you? You got to give it a little bit more though, because if I just say, give me a lesson plan, it's going, well, on what? On what? How long is it going to be? So you want to give it some more context. So add in a little bit more information. What's it about? What more can you tell it? Source is basically, are you giving Copilot something to pull from that already exists? So is it going to look like something? Is it going to be in a table, or all of these good things? And then expectation, again, is what do you expect from it? What's that last little bit of information that's going to wrap it up and make it perfect?
So in this case, that would be that it lasts 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Very good. Excellent. Okay. And when we are looking at Copilot, what are some of the other things that you're able to do with Copilot?
Oh, you don't just need it for work life. So here we had, for example, you were making a lesson plan. What about actually if you want recipes because you're a university student?
I couldn't cook when I was in university, so I could have done with Copilot.
You might want a little bit of help, right? So you can ask it to craft recipes for you. You can actually get it to check over something. So check for spelling mistakes, for example. Say if you were going to send off an email to a college application, something like that, can it check over for it?
Excellent. Okay. And then obviously one of the big questions around Copilot currently is the whole generative AI experience, right? So you're not just able to ask it for prompts like the ones that we've just kind of looked at there. You're also able to create things with it, right? So you're able to create images, things like that. When we're looking at creating images, there is that question about responsible AI. So can you talk a little bit about what responsible AI is?
Yeah. So Microsoft actually has 6 key principles around responsible AI. They're all on the website. So just head over to Microsoft.com and search there for responsible AI, and you'll be able to find them. But essentially what it's about is keeping people safe while they're using it, so they're not seeing anything that they don't want to. But it's also as well making sure that things are tagged correctly as being AI generated as well.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So, Copilot, I mean, fantastic, right? This is the direction that AI is going, especially with Copilot. I think that we're onto a winner here. So we've looked at Copilot. We also looked at multiple desktops, and of course we've touched on Snap Layout. So really, really key features on how Windows can make your everyday easier. I think it's around about time that we should have a look at what questions have been coming in from you guys and girls out there in the big wide world.
Yep. So I've had a question come through, Jay. Is Copilot available on all Windows PCs? You might be able to answer this one.
Every PC is a Copilot PC.
It is indeed. So yes, every Windows PC can access Copilot. Copilot Plus PCs obviously can also access Copilot and can do some tasks offline as well. Only a couple, not all tasks. And even you can access Copilot from other PCs if you use the Copilot website.
And you can download the Copilot app onto your phone as well.
You can indeed. Thank you very much for the reminder, Jay.
See, not just a pretty face.
I love the fact as well, we've had the comment about my Copilot history that I've been looking at mocktails. So, again, mocktails there, but... You know, nice.
Very responsible.
Very responsible. And we've had another one come through. What about a Copilot demo for the older generation? So someone who is maybe 60, 70 plus. Might we show them Copilot there?
So I think around that one, obviously, you know, there's the whole teaching an old dog new tricks, right? I think you're never too late to learn something. Being able to ask Copilot for instructions on something, on how to do something, on how to perform a task, how to use a piece of technology. I think Copilot is a really good way of getting some instructions on how to learn something, how to do something.
I'd agree. And also, what about getting it to not even how to do a task, some tasks it can even do for you. Can it change light mode to dark mode, for example? Can it change settings? Can it help you connect your PC, printer even to your PC? So all of these great things are there for, I think, people who, again, not just older generation, but people who maybe just not be as tech savvy. Copilot's there to be a great assistant for those as well.
Excellent. And just one last question here. So if I have my PC plugged into a monitor with Windows Snap to it, and what happens when I undock that monitor?
Easy. If you keep those apps open, then when you redock, it will just go back to the same place.
Perfect. Well, yeah, thank you very much. Remember, we are live, so we are going to be coming back to some questions later on in the show. So please use the QR code that is just down at the bottom of the screen right now. Ask us whatever questions that you have. What we're going to do now is, we looked at Windows, right? The other really important product and service that we've got to offer that really ties in well with this back to school journey is Microsoft 365. So we're going to have a look at how Microsoft 365 can enhance the experience for, again, teachers, students and parents. And we're going to be specifically focusing on Word today, right? But there are a host of features across the M365 product family that are going to be benefiting to you when you're looking at back to school. So first off, Word. Hannah, talk to me about some Microsoft 365 features.
The one that I use the most has got to be Editor, right? One, I can't spell.
That's true, I've seen.
Absolutely. I mean, when I was trying to type into Copilot, right, struggling there.
Yep.
So I cannot spell. Editor is a fantastic spelling and grammar check, but we've had spelling and grammar check in Word since the dawn of me using Word, right?
Since the little Clippy.
Oh, little Clippy. I miss little Clippy. Editor goes one step further though. So if I actually show you on my laptop screen here. So with the Editor button that is just in the top right, if I click on that, we can actually see it gives the editor score. Now this is based on a number of different things. So one is spelling. and grammar and things like that. And we can actually see here I've got 2 spelling mistakes, which I totally put in.
That was on
you know,
purpose.
On purpose.
Of course it was.
Yep. And I can actually change that straight away to the correct spelling. That'll up my score, so that goes up. But also I can look at, is it clear? Is it concise? Is it inclusive language that I'm using? And I can change this based on, is it formal, professional, or casual as well.
Okay, so based on that, obviously that score will change based on whether it thinks that you're trying to be more casual, where maybe you would have a little bit less conciseness versus when you're being professional, right? Okay, how about, we have some students that are not going to be writing in English.
Yep.
What can they do with Editor to make it work for them?
Just you change the language.
Okay.
So literally all we need to do is head up here into review, then go to language, set proofing language, and I can change. There are, you know, loads of different languages in here. So just change that and that'll change actually what Editor's marking against.
Excellent. And how about other programs that Editor works with? Where else can we see Editor?
Outlook, where you might be writing your emails. So again, if you want to make sure your emails are being sent up clear, concise, professional, all that good stuff, and spelt correctly, I open up Editor within there as well.
And what we're looking at back to school, obviously one of the big questions at the minute is around plagiarism. Can it help with avoiding plagiarism?
It can indeed. Down at the bottom here, we've got similarity. As long as you're connected online, you can click, and at the moment, it's not pulling through. I am using the random text at the moment, so it might be having a bit of an issue with that. But if I click there and I'm connected online, it will be able to say how similar it is to sources online.
Perfect. So that's Editor. What else do we have that can help people?
So, Jay, did you write a lot of essays when you were in school, college?
I tried my hardest to avoid them.
Me too. I went and did a science subject because I didn't want to write essays, and then still ended up having to write a couple of essays here and there. One of the banes for me had got to be citations and bibliographies and actually doing the research for it. We've got a built-in researcher though.
Excellent.
All I need to do is go up to references here and I'm going to click researcher. Now what that's going to do is it's going to give me the option to actually search my topic that I want to put in.
Yep.
I'm going to go with today, let's go with Leonardo da Vinci.
Very nice.
Very artistic,
Very
right? So here we are, Leonardo da Vinci. I'm actually going to go for, we're just going to go for him as a person, as our topic, and it's going to give me a bit of an overview, but it's also going to give me books, websites, loads of different references that I could use. I can then select that to add it as a citation. I can open it up, I can read it, I can locate it, but if I want to use it, I can actually click this to add it as a citation for my work.
Excellent. Now, how are editing those citations afterwards?
Dead
is that
easy.
Something you're able to do?
Easy. So if I just, for example, go up here, we can see that we've got our citations and bibliography. If I go to manage sources, I can actually, and this is one that I did earlier, actually make any edits to it. I can delete it, copy it, and click edit there to actually change anything about it.
Perfect. And how about adding in a bibliography?
Dead easy again. If I literally go to add it for the first time, it's going to say create, and at the bottom there, it'll create me a bibliography.
Excellent. One of the questions that I know that we're going to get is around the formatting of these citations. Does it have to be Harvard style formatting, or can we edit that as well?
Nope. So Harvard style was the style that I used at university, but you can actually change the style up here. So just for example, change it over, that'll change your style. And there's loads more available in that if you wish.
Of course. Okay. So we've looked at researcher. We've also had a look at editor. Give me one more thing from the Microsoft 365 family that can help with that back to school experience.
I can indeed. But I'm going to have a break from giving demos. We're going to go to a video for Immersive Reader.
There is a free reading tool to help people of all ages and abilities. It's built into Microsoft apps like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Edge, and Microsoft Teams. Whatever your reading level, Immersive Reader is there to help. Let's see it in Microsoft Word. Find Word in the Start menu on your desktop or at office.com in your browser. Select View and Immersive Reader. Then choose one of the options. Column width changes line length to improve focus and comprehension. Page color can make text easier to scan with less eye strain. Line focus removes distractions so you can read line by line. Text spacing increases the spacing between words, characters, and lines. Syllables show breaks between syllables to improve word recognition and pronunciation. And Read Aloud lets you hear your document as each word is highlighted.
The Amazon rainforest is an expansive forest located in the Amazon basin.
Immersive Reader is built into other Microsoft apps like Microsoft Edge browser and Microsoft Teams, where it looks and feels familiar. Find Microsoft Edge in the Start menu on your desktop. In Edge, many web pages support the full Immersive Reader view. Click in the top right, then enter Immersive Reader. If there's a word you don't understand, you can see a picture instead. In Reading Preferences, switch on Picture Dictionary. Then when your cursor changes to a star, select the word to see a picture. Let's see it in Microsoft Teams. Find Teams in the Start menu on your desktop or at office.com in your browser. In Teams, hover over a message with your mouse or tap your finger with a touchscreen device. Then select More Options and Immersive Reader. You can translate one word at a time. Just choose a language in Reading Preferences and turn on By Word. Select a word to see or hear it translated.
Happy to have some inclusivity, some accessibility talk in the show. That is great, awesome, really,
Indeed.
really useful.
So good. And if we're talking from a back to school point of view for it specifically, think about how that might help someone learn to read for the first time, breaking down with syllables. From an accessibility point of view, it makes reading documents, even writing essays, so much more easier, and proofreading as well with that Read Aloud feature. So I think there's so many different applications that it could help, but yeah, from an accessibility point of view, 10 of 10.
And also for students, right, when you're hearing the words that you've written down back, it might come across differently to how you interpreted how you were going to put them on the page, right? So really useful. A couple of questions that I've got around Immersive Reader. Do I have to have it read the entire page or the entire document?
Nope, just highlight the bit that you want it to read loud if you wish to.
Okay. And does Immersive Reader remember my selections when I've made them?
It does indeed. So if I choose my page colour is going to be pink and that syllables are going to be broken down, or my column width is going to be wider or narrower, it will remember as soon as I turn on Immersive Reader again.
Okay. So I think, again, we're going to have another look at some of the questions that have been coming in from you everyone out there now. Obviously, we're looking at Microsoft 365 here, so I'm going to have a look at a few different suggestions. First off, do any of the experiences that we've just spoken about with Microsoft 365, do any of them use AI?
I do indeed. So Editor actually uses AI to check that you are concise and clear and all that good stuff, and formal, etc., to analyse your writing.
Okay. We have another question that's come in around Copilot. So can you show us how Copilot can help students? And I'll let you talk about this, but obviously the World Wide Web is a large place. There's a lot of information that's going on there. So I think I know where we're going with this one.
How the Copilot can help students. I mean, there's a number of different ways that it could actually help a student. I think a really good thing with Copilot is it's a good way to find out information, just like a search engine, right? So it is a very good search engine, you can quickly find it. But also one of the cool things about Copilot is it saves that history. So when everyone was, having a look at my history a little bit earlier on, loving all my mocktail choices, you can go back into it and find that information quickly and easily. So if I've asked it to find out some information, for example, on the topic we had earlier, Leonardo da Vinci, I can then go back, pull that information out and copy it straight from there as well.
Excellent. We've had a comment come in saying, I don't know what I'd do without snap layouts. Yeah, absolutely.
I know.
Right. It's super useful.
So useful. There's not times like this where I don't have another monitor set up and I can have multiple things open at the same time. Lifesaver.
And then finally, another question is, we've had someone saying, I'm dyslexic and I find Immersive Reader really helpful. What other accessibility features in Microsoft 365 can help me out?
Ooh, one I would probably suggest is Dictate. So, for example, if you have an accessibility need or just don't like typing big bodies of text, or actually find that maybe you have a bit more of a natural written voice almost by using your own voice, just hit Dictate in Word and that uses your microphone and picks you up. You can also set it with multiple languages as well. So if you can speak French, Italian, all of those wonderful languages, you can get it to pick up in that as well.
Okay. Well, obviously we've had a look at how Copilot can help teachers. We've had a look at how Copilot can help students. What about parents? How do you think that Copilot can really benefit parents?
Ooh, parents. That's got it. Ooh. I think it's really good. As I said, you can copy and paste text in. So if you weren't sure, if say your child's wrote out a paragraph for a short story, and you want it to check over spelling and grammar because you weren't that confident with it, or maybe you actually wanted to make the story more concise for a blurb or something like that, you could get it to transform the information that way quickly and easily to check over work, things like that. I'm trying to think of other ways. You could get it to do fun activities during the school holidays.
I like that.
Another way to keep kids entertained. So
Absolutely.
yeah, multiple different ways that you could do that.
Perfect. So I think that kind of brings us to roughly the end of our live stream today. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you for talking back to school, even though we are in the middle of August. I know that it's daunting. I appreciate that we're only just going away on holidays and we're already thinking about going back. But obviously this is such a huge topic, right? Really pays dividends to get ahead of the curve on this. So thank you all so much for joining us.
And thank you so much for all the wonderful comments. We are seeing a lot of love for Copilot, for Snap Layouts in those comments. So thank you very much to everyone who has sent in a comment, a question, or just had a chill out, listen to us for the last 40 or so minutes. That's been nice.
Absolutely. So before we leave you, let's kind of do a quick summary, a quick recap on everything that we've spoken about today. So we started off looking at Windows and how Microsoft products and services, specifically Windows and Microsoft 365, can help you get a head start on that back to school journey and help save you time, give you time back, help you to work smarter and not harder. So recap us on those Windows features that we spoke about.
We looked at Snap Layouts for that ultimate productivity. We looked at multiple desktops so you can separate that work life and play maybe, or separate from different people in the household. And we also looked at, of course, Copilot, that's had a lot of love today, and so many different applications for Copilot.
Excellent. And then we also looked at Microsoft 365 features. So Editor, Researcher, Immersive Reader, take it away.
Editor, you don't need to worry about checking your work if it's going to have spelling, grammar, if it's concise. You can let Editor do the hard work, and again, thanks to AI. Immersive Reader, a little bit of accessibility there, but also it may be good if you are just learning the ropes with reading for the first time. And then lastly, Researcher for just taking the strain, a little bit of the strain out of essay writing. If you're having to do a dissertation, putting in hundreds of citations and making a bibliography, let Researcher do the hard work for you.
Absolutely. So we hope you've enjoyed your time with us today. Obviously, if you have any more questions, please head on down to your nearest retailer and ask anyone in store. They will be able to help guide you through the world of Microsoft products and services. We appreciate all your questions, comments, and interests in our back to school live stream.
Yes, it's been wonderful. I've been Hannah. You've been...
I've been Jay.
Oh, wow. And that is all for us. See you on the next one.
Bye-bye.